This that's Bolt with a B, like boy band, and not Volt. I clarify this because some people, even some car enthusiasts, have no idea that this thing exists, even though on paper it's amazing. It's a brand new electric car that will do 238 miles between charges. That's twice the range of its mainstream electric rivals like the Nissan Leaf and the Ford Focus Electric and that
MITSUBISHI that looks like an egg-shaped golf cart.
More importantly, the Bolt isn't really all that expensive compared to rivals. It starts at just $37,500 or just $30,000 after the federal tax incentive. $37,500 to go 238 miles. Those numbers are unrivaled in the car industry, except for the new Tesla Model 3, which will reportedly
Go 220 miles for $35,000. Those
are pretty similar numbers, and yet the Tesla Model 3 is sold out for years. People are obsessing over it. Tesla fans are retweeting every time Elon Musk sneezes, whereas the Bolt isn't selling. Most people
haven't heard of it, and it's just not cool. Today, I'm going to find out why that is. Before I get started, here are some facts to back up my theory of the Bolt's uncoolness. Chevrolet recently announced that they are idling the plant that makes the Bolt because inventories
are just too high. How high exactly? Well, right now, listed on AutoTrader, there are 3,599 Bolts for sale across the country. $35.99.
You know how many Tesla Model 3s there are for sale on AutoTrader? Zero. Admittedly, the Model 3 isn't quite out just yet, but the point remains the Bolt has giant inventories, whereas for the Model 3, people were lining up for weeks ahead of time in order to give Tesla a $1,000 interest-free loan so that they could maybe have the chance to have a Model 3 sometime in the next couple of years. So today, I'm going to try to figure out what the Bolt doesn't have. I borrowed this Bolt from a dealer here in New Jersey, and I'm going to show you all of its cool quirks and interesting features, and then I'm going to take it on the road and see how this thing drives. And at the end, I'm going to give it a dud score. And for more of my thoughts on the Bolt and the Bolt experience, click the link below to go to autotrader.com/oversteer. Now, on to the quirks.
A lot of interesting quirks and features, so get ready. I'll start with the first thing you notice the second you climb inside.
And it's the gear lever. For some reason, electric and hybrid cars just have to have a bizarre gear lever, and the Bolt is no different. Now, when you first start the car, it's in park, that makes sense, that's fine. But when you want to put it in reverse, you have to push a little button on the side of the gear lever, and then push it up and to the left.
By the way, someone just stole your charge cord. But that isn't my favorite. Your chime volume. I personally like my chime volume at 32. 30 if I'm trying to create kind of a low-key night on the town atmosphere.
Next up, the giant screen shows all of your energy usage, which is common in most electric and hybrid cars, but this one really gets in depth to the point where I don't even want to get into all this stuff. The one cool thing is it gives you a score, how you're doing compared to how you could be doing, how you've been in the past. My score is
not very high. And then here's a feature that every car should have. There's a setting for maximum startup volume. That's for the radio. So when you get in and the last person who drove it was blaring the music, there's a maximum level the radio will start at. So even if the last person had it on 87,
you can control it so that it won't start higher than 25. So when you get in the car on Monday morning at 7 a.m. after it's been driven on the weekend, your eardrums aren't blown out by crazy electronic
music from those darn kids. And speaking of those darn kids,
this car even has a teen driver function, so that when you give your car over to your teen driver, you can limit stuff like the stereo volume and the speed. It requires the inputting of a pin, so your teen can't go in there and change it. Another cool thing, this car has
in the back of the car. That is a really good idea. Slightly less well executed is the option to
change the language. It says language, so you can change language. And it also says language, so you can change your language or language.
General Motors. And one of my favorite Bolt quirks is the brake lights. Now, first off, just the appearance of the brake lights when they're on is pretty cool, kind of futuristic looking.
Because if your hood is up or your hatchback's up, nobody can see them. But Chevy figured...
Now, an interesting way around that, it's also used by a couple of other cars. Anyway, when you open the hatchback, watch down here. Open it up. The brake
lights instantly shift. Suddenly, they're no longer in the hatchback. They're down in the bumper, which is a fixed piece of bodywork. When you close the hatch, once again, it set in the bumper in case the tailgate ever opened, but they just figured, nah, screw it. And so
there's only one set of turn signals in the bumper.
in the tailgate right above the license plate, and there are two of them. One is a wide-angle camera just for the regular reversing camera, and the other one is for the 360-degree camera.
The third thing back there, that would be the washer jet for the cameras. In case they get grimy or dirty, there is a separate washer that will squirt the fluid onto them so that they can stay clean.
People see, but then if you lift this up, there's a second cargo area underneath the floor, so you can hide stuff from anybody who hasn't seen this. Out by a guy driving a Chevy Silverado. You can't film in Hilltop Reserve. But actually, it's kind of a neat feature in this car. If you set Hilltop Reserve to on, it only charges the car to 90%.
And that way, if, for example, you live at the top of a hill, you can use regenerative braking to get the last 100% of charge when you drive to work or drive wherever you're going. The theory being that way you don't have to waste any of the energy created by regenerative braking. They really thought of everything. Now, one of the main reasons I suspect a lot of Tesla owners will claim that they didn't buy a Bolt is because it doesn't have all the technology that you'll find in a Tesla, but actually, you'd be surprised how much technology is in this car. For example, in addition to
a regular backup camera, there is a
360-degree camera. There's also a lane keep assist feature that will steer you back into your lane, and lane departure warning to know you get too close to a car in front of you. So it's got forward collision warning
and automatic forward collision braking. It has a
press the lock button, and then you hold down the remote start button until the lights come
on, as they just have. The car itself doesn't remote start, but the climate control does turn on. Right now, the air conditioning is blowing, so it is nice and cool on this hot day when I get in my car. Then I simply push the power button, and I'm ready to go. So this car has a
lot of high-tech features and some cool little quirks that make it kind of interesting, but like all cars, there are a few drawbacks. One of them is the seats. They're surprisingly narrow. They don't warn me about this, but they're narrower than I expected. I can barely get all of me on them. I'm not exactly
a large person. Also on the subject of the seats, how about the fact that this is the ultra high level Bolt with every feature and option, and it doesn't have power seats. They can do a Hilltop Reserve mode, but they can't put power seats in.
It seems a little bit strange. And then there's probably my least favorite thing in this car, something that most people probably would never notice, but I spend a lot of time in cars and I notice stuff like this. When you roll down the window on the driver's side or the passenger side, you can see the door panel sort of expand to allow for the window to come into it.
It's something that most Bolt owners probably will never notice.
I'm actually kind of excited about this. I was excited when this car was announced.
Especially considering its price point. It has a lot of cool features and new technology, and it drives reasonably well, and
it's pretty fast, which brings us back to our main point. Why isn't this car cool? What is holding the Bolt back from achieving the celebrity status that the Tesla Model 3 has?
one could argue that styling plays a role. The Bolt looks more like a standard hatchback, or maybe even
a minivan, whereas the Model 3 looks more futuristic. Fine. Model 3 fans would probably also point to performance, but
and a normal car, like for example a Honda Civic, does it in just under 8. So this thing isn't really all that slow, but nonetheless. But in 2 years, really, you're going to have that cool Tesla that you've been hearing about. Admittedly, I think the Model 3 is cool too. Really, I do. And I can't wait to drive one. But I think the truth is we all know why the Model 3 has been so hyped and the Bolt has fallen flat.
And that is right here. The simple truth is that Chevy just isn't as cool as Tesla. I know a lot of Tesla owners claim that they're doing it for the environment.
And they want the electric car to save the planet. The truth is that I think a lot of them just want the hot new car from the cool new car company, which is fine. But if you want an electric car with great numbers and a reasonable price that's available right now, and you don't want to wait for your car to be delivered in Tesla standard time, here's your alternative. Now it's time for the Doug score, starting with the weekend categories and styling, where the Bolt is fine. It has some cool details, but it's not exactly thrilling, so it gets a 5 out of 10. Acceleration, the Bolt does 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. Strong for an electric car, but not for the Doug score, where it gets a 3 out of 10. Handling, the Bolt is fine, but not still a cool new car, at least I think so, so it gets a 6
out of 10. Finally, importance. This is clearly a significant car for General Motors, an important vehicle in their lineup and for their future as electric cars start to become more common. It gets a 7 out of 10. That brings the total weekend score to just 25 out of 50, which makes sense. This isn't much of a car you want to drive on the weekends. As for the daily score, I suspect things will be a bit different. Starting with features, the Bolt does well. It's nicely equipped with a lot of desirable modern tech, but it's missing some stuff too, so it gets a 7 out of 10. Luxury measures comfort, and the Bolt is fine, not great, but not horrible, just about average, so it gets a 5 out of 10. Quality measures materials and reliability. Materials are decent, maybe just a bit above average, but reliability is unknown, and there's always a fear about buying a car, especially a car like this with a new powertrain, so early in its model run, so it gets a 5 out of 10. For practicality, the Bolt's 56.6 cubic feet of cargo volume would give it an 8, but this category also factors in gas mileage, and that easily bumps up the Bolt to a 9 out of 10. Note I've also revised a few other cars' practicality scores to keep the Doug score consistent. Finally, for value, the Bolt's pricing is strong, especially since Chevy dealers are probably
offering some great deals due to excess inventory. It gets an 8 out of 10, bringing the total daily score to 34 out of 50, right near the top. That makes sense, as this is more of a daily car than most of the stuff that I test.
Add it all up, and the Bolt's Doug score is 59 out of 100. It's a good, solid car, excellent effort. It may not be as cool as a Tesla, but if you want an electric car, this really should be near at the top of your shopping list.